Hi, everybody. Time for another reader questions. There almost wasn't a reader questions this week because no one asked any questions until just a few minutes ago. So originally this was just going to be an announcement thing, but now there will be an announcement at the end, and there will indeed be some questions. These are from the Facebook fan page, and once again, they are from Billy, who is, I believe, our question MVP. Questions for next week. Spoiler hat alert. So there will be a spoiler hat. First one, can you... Well, let's see. I'm going to put the spoiler hat on while I'm asking the questions, because the questions might contain spoilers. So, spoiler hat engaged. Let's see. Okay. Can you speak to how our friends in Entwell would have reacted if they had known the true dangers the world faced? I get this sort of question a lot. What would the people in Entwell be doing if they realized how important the events outside really were? And the answer is they sort of do know. Well, that's not entirely true. There is some information coming in from the outside. Azrael is established to be able to see with a relatively high degree of fidelity, particularly after her dealings with Deacon. She can sort of tell what's going on. But really, the long and short of it is the people in Entwell, particularly the wizards in Entwell, are pathologically incapable of agreeing with one another. So if any of them didn't believe that what was going on outside was really the prophesied, events, then there would be an endless argument about it. So the subject of why and how and what and if regarding the Entwell wizards and the world outside will be established in future stories, so I'm not going to go so deeply into this, but suffice to say there would be arguments and disagreement if they found out what was going on specifically. Question 2. Can you speak to Desmer's former lady friend's storyline conclusion after her accessory was removed? This is super spoiler. If you have not read the Book of Deacon trilogy, pay attention to the spoiler hat, because this is stuff that's right at the very end. Okay. Desmer's former lady friend is General Tregora Teleran, and she wears a gold band on her arm. And following the removal of the band, we discover that the mark of the Chosen, was being concealed underneath it, and this was a device that was created by the Decaran to sort of nullify the effect that the mark can have in purifying an individual. So when she had that removed, and the decades of service to the Decaran sort of all came at once, she was sort of consumed in this flame, it's described, and then she gets thrown off a sort of cliff into a valley. What happens after that, even with the spoiler hat on, I'm not going to tell you, which implies it will be in a future story. I'm not going to spoil future stories. So yeah, I guess the spoiler here would be we're going to learn more about that. But that's question 2. Question 3. What's an interesting tidbit about Hollow that we might not know? If you're not familiar with Hollow, Hollow is the almost empty husk that occasionally spouts 100% accurate prophecy about the future in Entwell. So what's a tidbit that we might not know about Hollow? I think it's established that Hollow is the only person who went to Entwell knowing what he would find there. That was before he was Hollow. I think his name was Tober before that. So what about... Hollow is extremely strong. Oh, how about this? Tober, the person who would become Hollow, still speaks most loudly when a prophecy comes through. Basically, if something really important needs to be said, the person doing the talking among those many voices that you hear coming out of Hollow, the one speaking loudest is Tober. So technically, he's still in there somewhere. He's just busy communing with the others and learning about what's to come until he decides it's time to speak. So, those are your 3... this is some real inside baseball this week. This is a lot of stuff that doesn't make any sense if you haven't read the trilogy. So, again, Spoiler hat. I hope you were paying attention. And now, I'm going to remove the spoiler hat. We are no longer talking about spoilers. I had been asked in a previous video, well, set of questions, if I was going to do a formal announcement episode or list of future projects. I don't know all of the projects I'm going to do next year, so this is not the formal announcement. However, this is an announcement, and it was suggested that I should have a special announcement hat since I have a spoiler hat. So I'm going to debut the other hat I could find nearby because I'm lazy enough that I didn't go dig out one of my other hats. This is now the formal announcement hat. Looks a little bit stupider than it normally does because I have to put it on over a headset. So there's that. So what is my formal announcement? Well, if you have been paying attention, you know that my there we go. You know that my Big Sigma stories have been coming out in paperback. The second and third one just came out. You can buy them now in paperback. But why am I doing this all now as opposed to months and months ago? Well, the answer is the fourth Big Sigma story, which I've been referring to pretty much as Big Sigma 4 in the past, is in the hands of beta readers. Some people have already read it. And I'm going to now reveal, number one, the cover. Temporal Contingency. That person you see on the screen there, that's her name is Ziva, and you will meet her in this new story. And the other big piece of information is this book is available for pre-order right now. You can go to iBooks. It's already available for pre-order on iBooks. It will be available for pre-order on the other, like Kobo and Barnes & Noble, in a week or so. And then the week after that, it will go on pre-order. Probably around Christmas, it'll go on pre-order on Amazon. So keep your eyes peeled if you enjoy my sci-fi. You've got more on the way. Release date is not until March, but pre-order now. Thanks for listening, and until next week. If you got any questions, put them in the comments. Thank you.